Dr. Ellen Hendrickson, this clinical psychologist, also here in Boston with me, she basically said that there's four layers to social anxiety. The first layer is your physical appearance. So you'll feel socially anxious that people are judging your weight, how your teeth are structured, your skin color, your face, your gender. There's so many different, your clothes. Like I know for me, like I grew up poor. And so I wore the same clothes to school every day and day. And then now knowing that gave me social anxiety about my appearance and my clothes. Then there's the second layer of social anxiety, which is you'll get socially anxious about your social skills. Some people have this, some people don't who have social anxiety, but a lot of the times you'll feel like you don't know how to introduce yourself. You don't know how to talk about yourself. You don't know how to sort of engage in conversational skills. It's always very awkward for you, or it seems like that. The third layer of social anxiety is you will feel socially anxious about your entire personality or like your character. And so like you'll feel like at the root cause that there's something wrong with you, that other people are sort of better than you. Then there's the fourth layer, which usually, everyone has usually a combination of these layers. But the fourth layer is you'll get socially anxious about the signs of social anxiety itself. So it's sort of like this like self-repeating feedback loop of like, you'll be in a conversation and then all of a sudden your brain is like, wait, can people see the fact that I'm sweating? Can people see my legs tapping frantically? Can they tell that I'm shy? Do they think that I'm shy? And so then it starts another like loop of social anxiety. And so what you can start to do is either with a professional or like I also have a course that walks people through this. You can basically expose yourself to each one of these layers systematically and incrementally. And so you have to kind of do a little bit of research. You have to do a little bit of homework and understand for you what the triggers are. So like I said, for me, one of the triggers was that I grew up poor. And so I'd wear the same clothes every day while other people around me were like buying designer clothes that their parents got them, like different clothes every day. And so one of the things that I would do is I would literally wear the same clothes around the same people every single day to like literally condition my brain to be like, hey, even if we're in the same clothes, we're not going to care what other people think. And like you do it step by step by step. It's not like all of a sudden you just jump in there. Another one for me was to start to deal with my approach anxiety and also my social skills. What I did was I like learned social skills. I learned that most of human communication isn't even verbal. A lot of it's your body language, your vocal tonality. And so like, I remember I took like a course on that. And then what I would do was I would go and try to talk to strangers. And like the way that I would do it specifically is I wouldn't just like go there and be like, hey, how are you? What I would do is I'd sort of write it down in my journal and sort of try to self-challenge myself and be like, hey, Mark, today go outside and ask 5 random people what the time is. And so I'd go outside and I'd just ask people like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you. Like, do you have the time on you? And they're like, yeah, it's 8:34. It's whatever. And I'd be like, okay, thank you so much. And start doing that incrementally. And then I would say, hey, then my next challenge would be, hey, ask 5 people what the time is. And then also like how to get directions to somewhere that I kind of already knew, but I just wanted to like ask them. And so a lot of times if you approach it from that perspective and you go with just like the logical route, and you're just beginning to tackle social anxiety for the first time, this can like slowly start to help your brain. And like what happens is if you are someone like me who was shy their entire life, always had severe social anxiety, and you start to do this, the first time you do it, your brain is literally going to like act as if you're about to die. But then what happens is as you can start to do it, and there's different strategies that I talk about it that make it easier that people can look up. But what starts to happen is that when you actually do this and you do it successfully and like the person gives you the time and they're like, yeah, have a great day. What actually starts to happen is that your brain actually starts to experience a positive dopaminergic reward release that is supposed to happen like all throughout your life as a kid of like when someone compliments you, when someone communicates with you, your brain rewards you for that. All of a sudden, once you start challenging yourself and you get good results and your brain understands like, oh, we can talk to people and they're not going to judge us. They're not going to kill us. It actually really, really helps to start to positively reinforce. And so, for the sake of time, I won't go down, but like all these layers that I mentioned, there's different strategies, different ways for each person that they can do. And if you do that incrementally alongside doing deeper work, like focusing on your brain, like the state of your brain health, things like meditation, start to manage your mind. Those three things, man, it's like, again, there's nothing works for everybody. There's no such thing as a magic fix or anything, but those three I think are the most reliable in terms of the results for the amount of people that they've gone for.